All-inclusive resorts are not created equal, and they're not available everywhere. If your clients are asking about all-inclusive trips, this episode of Travel Agent TV is for you. Welcome to Travel Agent TV. I'm Pat Miller, your host and part of The Hub. The Hub social network is the place where agents and suppliers are gathering together under one roof. If you haven't checked out The Hub yet, check it out, hubsocialnetwork.com. While you're here on the YouTube channel, click subscribe because we are making agents information by agents for agents every day. So if you want to see great information to help you grow your business, lower your stress, and put the joy back into being a travel agent, that's what this YouTube channel is for. So on today's show, we're talking about all-inclusive trips, and we're welcoming back our friend Tanya Murphy, Destination Director for Trips Alive. So Tanya, man, a great all-inclusive vacation. They are fun, but
Yeah.
they're not available everywhere, are they?
No, they're not. And that's probably one of the first hard lessons that a newer travel advisor might learn is that you're going to have the experience where someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to do an all-inclusive in Hawaii." And you need to know that there's no all-inclusives in Hawaii. It's pretty much a phenomenon that is most prevalent in Mexico, Jamaica, and Punta Cana. I kind of call those the big three when it comes to all-inclusives. And there's a smattering of them in other parts of the Caribbean then. But for the most part, the most choices are in those three places. So that's the first thing you got to learn is where do we have all inclusives and where do we kind of not have them?
So when you're talking to a client about them, why are they attracted to all inclusives? Where's the value for the client?
Well, there's a lot of value in an all-inclusive vacation because the concept of the all-inclusive basically means that for one chunk price, you've got your room, all your meals, all your beverages, and that does include adult beverages, all of the activities at the resort, the beach volleyball, the kids club, non-motorized water sports, you can take a kayak off the beach, that kind of a thing. So people love that because they know that they've already paid for the trip. They're not going to get nickeled and dimed for every drink or every appetizer they want. And they've already paid for the vacation and it's done. And for one price, they get all that stuff.
As a traveler, I got to say, it also throws down a challenge. Like, I've already paid for all my booze. All right. I've been challenged.
Absolutely. Get your money's worth.
Let's go. Why, yes, I'll take another. I want to follow up on something you just said, non-motorized sports. Are there any surprises that we need to make our clients aware of? Because not everything is included with an all-inclusive, and it varies by resort, I'm sure. But are there any surprises that you need to tell someone about when they book an all-inclusive?
I wouldn't say there's many surprises. I think that, telling people what is included and what is not is probably a good practice. So they should know that if they're going to go to the spa, you're going to pay out of pocket for that. It might be the case that when you go to dinner, if there is a very special bottle of wine you want to have that isn't included with the all-inclusive package, you might have to pay for that. We always say non-motorized water sports because generally if the boat's got a motor on it, you're going to pay extra for that. So there are a few things that you might have to pay for when you go to an all-inclusive.
Yeah, but I hear parasailing is great. I got to get that done. I haven't done it. Have you done parasailing? I've never done it.
I have. It's really great. It's the coolest part about it is once you get up there, everything is dead quiet.
Really?
Like you don't hear anything. You don't hear the boat. You don't hear the ocean. You don't hear anything. It is utter silence. It's pretty cool.
That sounds incredible. So all-inclusives are not a new concept, but there are new concepts in all-inclusives. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing right now?
Yes. What I'm seeing nowadays is different all-inclusive chains trying to differentiate themselves by taking the all-inclusive concept to the next level. So that might look like, hey, we're going to include this set list of excursions and maybe even a set list of spa treatments. And all you have to pay is the service fee, which might be 20 or 25%. So you're basically paying for the tip. Or they might include golf greens fees. Now you might have to still pay for the caddy or the clubs, but the greens fees might be included. So I'm seeing more and more resorts try to include more stuff and take all-inclusive up a notch.
So how do you know which all-inclusive is right for your particular client?
Right. I think that's the job of the travel advisor. There are all kinds of people in the market that are going to want to go to an all-inclusive. All three of my target markets, my young couples, my busy families, my empty nesters, they all book all-inclusives. The key here is which all-inclusive is right for your client, because there's big ones and there's small ones and there's family ones and there's adults only ones and there's ones with big walkable beaches and ones with rockier, more, beaches that are more for snorkeling. Whatever it is, your job is to match the client with the right all-inclusive vacation. That's going to get you a repeat client, right?
Isn't that great? Repeat client. Oh gosh, those words are just like a bell that rings. It's so pretty. Repeat client.
Right.
We love repeat clients. Any final thoughts that folks need to know about all-inclusives that next time a client calls and asks for them? Anything else you want to pass along?
Definitely. You need to know that not all-inclusives are created equal, as you said in your introduction. Like anything else in life, you get what you pay for, right? So you will pay a little bit more for all-inclusives that have really good food or really great top shelf liquor. And like for myself, I use the rule of thumb. I generally don't sell anything below a 4-star, and there's probably some 4 stars I wouldn't sell either. So you really need to get to know the quality of the resorts, so that you're not just focusing on price. Be prepared to have that discussion about price versus value, because sometimes for just a little bit more money, you can have an exponentially better experience.
And that's a great tip, right? All you want of something that's not very good is not very good. You got to make sure that the trim level matches the client, right? You mean I get all of this, but it's terrible? That doesn't do anything for me.
Right. And I've never heard of this vodka, or it's probably fine, but I'm at the point in my life where I kind of like the finer things.
Yeah.
And that said, the other thing I think people need to know is, as awesome as all-inclusives are, and they really are awesome, they're not the be all end all, even in the Caribbean. Okay. I do think sometimes people tend to focus too much on all-inclusives and completely ignore all the other great options. And there will be times when you will be doing your client a favor by actually steering them away from an all-inclusive. So just be aware of that. There's places like Aruba is an example, where there's a few all-inclusives there if you really, really want that, but it's actually not the recommended way to do that island, because there's so much amazing food everywhere. And, you can rent a car and explore that whole entire island. And that's really the way to experience that destination. And you might actually be doing your client a favor by saying, are you sure you want to do an all-inclusive? Because you might not want to.
Great information about all-inclusive resorts and trips. Tanya Murphy, Destination Director for Trips Alive. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on Travel Agent TV.
Thanks for having me, Pat. Had a great time today.